So in Mississippi, several racist white supremacists have been caught in front of the Emmett Till Memorial complaining about there not being enough white people around. Uh, though this is in Mississippi, so it's no surprise that there's still a bunch of racist people complaining about black people. Uh, The Emmett Till Memorial is a memorial dedicated to a young African American a child who was 14 at the time, that was tortured and lynched by a couple of racist people after they accused him of flirting with with a white woman. Back in that time, black people associating with white people was considered a uh, a capital offense to white people. But this helped spark the civil rights movement, and it became an international thing, or not, well, not an international, but a national thing, um, sparking outrage.
In Money, Mississippi, the memory of a murder is still very much alive. Here on the banks of the Tallahatchie River in 1955, the tortured body of 14-year-old Emmett Till was recovered. He'd been shot, lynched, and beaten.
2008 was the first marker, and it was the first time that this site had ever been marked or had ever told this story.
Till became an icon of the civil rights movement, and this place became sacred. Yet it is routinely desecrated. The first sign was stolen, so they put up another.
That marker was up, and then immediately we started getting bullet holes.
The markers have literally become a target for hate, leaving them frequently bullet-riddled.
Dude, how pathetic and shitty do you have to be to shoot at a sign dedicated to a person that was murdered over racism? You have to be some of the lowest scum in the earth in order to think that doing something like that makes you a superior person. These white supremacist people, these KKK members, the Nazis, neo-Nazis, whatever they want to be called, because they're all the same. They believe that their quote-unquote white genes make them better than everybody else. But all they show is that they're just shit people who can't truly do anything on their own besides use fear and intimidation to bring about their end goals. There needs to be a serious crackdown on these types of people, in my opinion, because it goes from shooting a sign dedicated to a black person to shooting black people.
You take down the second and replace it with a third.
Yeah.
And that's the one in the now infamous photo showing three white men from a fraternity of the University of Mississippi smiling, posing with guns. And that marker is also bullet scarred.
Why did they blur out their faces? These people shouldn't be protected from being known who they are. If the more these people have their identities hidden, the more they will become emboldened, because they're able to keep their faces hidden and have less worry about legal repercussions. That's why the KKK members would wear hoods and stuff, so that they couldn't be identified later on and get in trouble for beating somebody or murdering somebody. They all look the same, so you don't know who is who. These people need to have their faces unblurred and their names plastered all over the internet.
There's no way to know if the bullet holes are the work of these men or others. The University of Mississippi condemned the photo. The fraternity has suspended the men. CNN is trying to reach them for comment. And now the third sign is taken down.
We will not retreat. We won't stop. There will be another sign up.
Just down the road, I find the ruins of the local market where Tillman, visiting from up north, supposedly interacted with a white woman. In a Jim Crow South, that was enough to trigger his murder. And there is the courthouse, where the two men accused of his brutal death were tried and acquitted by an all-white jury deliberating less than an hour. Only...
Wow. Did they think that having an all-white jury would bring about justice? I mean, if it was a jury of non-racist people, there would be a difference. But a jury of all-white racist people would automatically allow those two people to get away with their crimes. Nobody should be able to get away with murdering an innocent child, no matter who they are. It was such a horrible time back then that just talking to somebody of a different skin tone was a warrant for death. And the justice system protected them by allowing them to be acquitted of their crimes. This is one problem with our justice system in the United States. Our justice system is highly racially based, where white people have, for the longest time, been protected from racial crimes against black people. I mean, it's only been since the civil rights where it's been kind of more cracked down, where you got hate crime laws and stuff. But the civil rights movement was only like 60, 70 years ago, and that is not enough time to be able to actually fix the mistakes that have happened.
Till's marker draws gunfire.
Do you ever reach a point of frustration after your now third sign going for 4?
There's frustration, but then there's hope, right? And the hope is that there's people around this country who care about this story, right? That Emmett Till did not die in vain.
Hello, this is Matt.
I call Matt Dilling in a Brooklyn warehouse. He's just finishing the 4th marker. It's pretty much bulletproof.
The marker itself is made of AR-500 steel with a polycarbonate cover, which is a type of armored plate steel.
It weighs 600 pounds and will be unveiled in October. Meanwhile, Emmett Till's family calls the latest photo and vandalism disappointing, but not surprising.
Those people